It's time for court today. Murtala has joined me. Murtala, good morning. How are you, Captain?
Good morning, Lily. Fine. How about you?
I'm doing awesome.
Great.
What's up in court this morning?
Yes, this morning I'm taking you back to what happened yesterday. A few of the notable cases that we used to know. Yesterday, resurfaced. Quite interesting one. The first one that I'm sharing with you this morning is in relation to the charges that have been filed by the Office of the Special Prosecutor against Mustapha Absolutely, Mustapha Hamid,
some 9 others,
and 9 others, like you have mentioned. And yesterday, you note that the OSP filed earlier charges. The accused person's plea were taken. All of them pleaded not guilty. In fact, 25 counts at the time, and then they have been granted bail. So as we speak, all of them are on bail. Yesterday, they appeared before the Criminal Court 3, where...
And the USP amended his charge sheet. Interesting.
Where Justice Mary Mami Ekweyenzu sits. Now, she has been elevated to the Court of Appeal, and so a new judge will have to be assigned to the Criminal Court 3, which hasn't been done yet. The understanding is that she's also waiting for, if any, a warrant to be able to be the one to handle that that case. But yesterday they were informed that, as you can see on your screen, that was moments after the case was adjourned to November 13. They were informed that they will have to go and come back. But the OSP, like you have mentioned, has amended the charge sheet and increased the counts to now 54. So quite, and the understanding is that within the last few months when this case came up, there have been some discoveries which led to some more offenses being added to whatever was preferred against them earlier. As you can see yesterday on your screens, yesterday, moments after, they were informed that the case will not come on, but they have to come back on 13th of November. So yesterday he appeared in court looking so active over there, having interactions with persons that he is familiar with, his lawyers and all of that. So Mustapha Abdul-Hamid, former NPA boss, was in court. The other accused persons were also present in court, but they will have to go and come back again. But what really are the charges that the OSP has pressed against them? And Director, let's have a summary of the OSP's charge sheet as filed, and then clearly as you have it. So the OSP is in court, and yesterday, quite interesting, when moments when the case was filed, the OSP tweeted, posted. You know, the OSP has been very active.
OSP, that office is one of the most active offices on social media.
Very, very.
If not more than the Ashanti Regional Minister, by the way.
But it's up for a good cause in respect of this particular leg of what we trying to. So it helps you to get information quickly as possible. So the Republic versus Mustapha Abdul-Hamid and 9 others, and then the case title is there. The OSP is saying that if you look at the summary sheet, the OSP has filed 54 criminal charges against the officials of NPA, alleged large-scale extortion, abuse of public office, and money laundering. And the total sum that we are talking about here is in the region of over 291 million Ghana cedis. Then that is in the cedi currency. Then in terms of the dollar equivalent, the dollar, in fact, so we have,
so there's a cedi
component
and there's a dollar component.
So the cedi component is over 291 million Ghana cedis. Then the dollar component is $332,000 respectively. So these are the sums of amounts that is in question that the OSP.
So these amounts are on what charges? So what counts specifically?
If you look at the counts are in multiple folds. So you have large scale extortion. That's the point that the OSP made, that there was a way that they managed to extort monies from certain persons, certain institutions, and all of that. And also make the point that they use their office, they abuse their office into getting some money, some funds, and all of that. And of course, money laundering also. So all these three, so these are the three major charges that culminated into the 54 4 counts. So the count is the number of times that the individual offense occurred. So that is how we are having this particular information from the Office of the Special Prosecutor. And what the OSP is saying that if you look at this particular latest discovery that has led to the charges being amended, makes it what they have extorted 100 million plus foreign currency from bulk oil transporters. So these are the institutions that the OSP is alleging, and oil marketing companies. OSP is alleging that they disguise and make sure that has used official duties to get these monies and all of that. And who are the accused persons? So Mustapha Abdul-Hamid is in there, one Jacob Kwamina Amua, Wendy Newman also in the Albert Ankara, Isaac Mensah, Bright Bediaku Mensah, Kweku Abuaje Akwa. So these are the 7 individuals in the case. But the remaining 3 are companies, and the companies Propsnet Limited, Kel Logistics Limited, and Kings Energy Limited. The OSP has also been making the point that there were some assets that have been seized, that have been frozen pending the outcome of the trial. What are some of these items that the OSP is saying? That there were some vehicles involved, including tanker trucks, there are fuel stations, houses, apartments, and of course, parcels of land valued at over 100 million Ghana cedis and all of that. So huge sums of monies have come up in relation to the latest amended charge sheet that the Office of the Special Prosecutor has filed. Now, OSP has been in the news in recent times. Yes, had an extensive conversation with the Deputy Attorney General, and there were some issues in all of that. So Mustapha Abdul-Hamid and the remaining 9 others, including 6 individuals, 3 companies, will have to be back in court on October 13, November 13, sorry, for their respective plea. Absolutely. Their respective plea to be taken as to when, obviously, we are not preempting anything. If they pleaded not guilty to the first one, who knows, maybe they will change their mind, but it is more likely that they will deny the charges and all of that. 13th will be there to follow up on what will happen.
Okay. The Sky Train project?
Yes. So
was the former CEO in court yesterday?
Yesterday,
the board chair?
Professor Christopher Miyakumfi is the second accused person, like you mentioned.
He was the board chair at the time.
Former board chair, yes. Wasn't present physically, and there was a reason he wasn't physically present. Yesterday's business was for the first accused person, Mr. Solomon Asamoah, and his lawyers to move an application, and that application is to have the trial stop, to stay proceedings. And the reason they are asking for the court to stay proceedings was that earlier, before the legal vacation, the court had made a ruling, and that ruling was premised on an application that lawyers of the first accused person had moved for some documentation to be furnished by way of disclosures. The court said at this particular point in time, if the AG is saying that whatever they had is what they have filed, let's progress. At some point in time, at any time where there is a need for some more disclosures to be done, and we are being told that disclosure is a process, as and when there is a need, it will happen. So we'll proceed. He said that, look, that decision from the High Court, I do not agree. I am going to the 3 wise men. I'm going to the Court of Appeal to challenge that. Hold on, stay proceeding. Let me go there, deal with my issue. Whatever outcome I get, I'll come back. The AG opposed to that and all of that. So yesterday was the day that they were supposed to hear that particular request to stay proceedings. But when the case was called, Justice Audrey Kokuvite's court, the AG filed an affidavit in opposition on the 11th of October. Now, lawyers of Mr. Solomon Asamoah, led by Mrs. Victoria Bath, indicated that they already received the AG's opposition that morning, and they were wondering what happened, the bailiffs, what happened, and then the thing was filed as far back as in 11th October. In fact, prosecution yesterday was represented by Mrs. Sefako Bache, Chief State Attorney. So, having made that prayer and said that I will need time to be able to look at what the AG has said, to be able to fairly represent my client in this application, the court she sought for an adjournment to tomorrow, Wednesday, 22nd of October, and then the court granted that. So yesterday, and the reason I said the case was called at 8:58, it was scheduled for 8:15. That's when the court set at 9, but it was a prior arrangement that they made to hear this very case on time. So Professor Christopher Amuya was asked, because he has a minor role to play in this very application, he can come at a normal at 9 o'clock. But by the time that it was 9 o'clock, the case has already been dealt with. But remember that the last time I told you that he said that he has an issue with his lawyers and they are trying to deal with it. Yesterday, the indication from the lawyer for the first accused person was to the effect that Professor Christopher Amuya is more likely to have a new lawyer in there. So tomorrow, that case will come up, and that application for stay of proceedings will be moved. But what is also clear is that the Office of the Attorney General, the state prosecutors, they have opposed to that request from lawyers of Solomon Asamoah, the former Chief Executive Officer of Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund.
The ex-PPA boss versus the OSP trial. What's the latest on that?
Yes, so I'm sure a lot of people might have forgotten about this very
ABAJ.
ABAJ and all of that. Earlier, he was charged together with his brother-in-law. Then the OSP, after further investigations, had to amend the charge sheet, and then charges against the brother-in-law were dropped. Now he's the one facing 8 counts, including a conflict of interest, using public office for things that offends the state allegedly by the OSP. And this, it has been forth and back, disclosures, case management conference. We need some documentation. It's been a long time when this case, but officially yesterday, the trial of ABAJ started with state prosecutor, the Office of the Special Prosecutor, calling the very first of their witness, that's a legal officer from Church, and they have tendered in over 180 pages of investigation reports carried out on the issues that had to do with conflict of interest, how he is alleged to have owned an individual company, a private company, where they were channeling procurement processes through and all of that, which investigates a thing that offends the provisions of the PPA law. Absolutely. So he has pleaded not guilty, but what is official is that before Justice Marie Louise Simmons, the trial of ABAJ has officially started. And currently, after having the witness statement adopted by the court, he's facing cross-examination from lawyers of ABAJ, and that is expected to continue today also in the court. So started yesterday, and today it will continue.
Okay, so it's one of the cases that are coming up
absolutely
today.
Yes.
My good friend Ajola's godmother is back in court today. a lot of people might have forgotten about her because of her incarceration.
Yes. Patricia, is that evangelist?
Now we'll call her convict, Nana Agradaa.
Slow. So Nana Agradaa, yes, as it's explained. So you note that we have so many of videos that we can share. The one that involves the one that currently she's serving the custodial sentence is there. But this very pictures or videos that we are rolling is very relevant to the case that I'm mentioning, because it is from that case that we got these videos. Not too clear now, you pardon us for that. But the point is that he's facing charges together with some others for allegedly sharing videos of prophets. They have been to Osofo Biblica. That's the name that they call him. And it's she doesn't have the consent to do that. And once that has been done, he made a report, and Nana Agradaa is now facing the law. So that one is different from what she has been convicted and sentenced for 15 years, and that's another matter altogether. They are not related to this one. So that one, the lawyers are seeking an appeal. As when there's any update, we'll let you know. But what is clear, and this very case, Lily, the last time we were here, we did indicate that Nana Agradaa and his lawyers have approached the Office of the Attorney General. And why have they approached the Office of the Attorney General? they are seeking for plea bargaining. They want to negotiate their way out. As to whether whatever proposal that they put before the Attorney General will be accepted is also another issue altogether. But what is clear in respect of this case is that Patricia Esiedua, the husband, what's the name? Isiama.
Angel Isiama, please. That's it. That's her angel. So please, let's give her that.
Patricia Esiedua, Angel Isiama.
Okay. Patricia Isiama, because she's now a Mrs. You know.
Yeah. So what is clear is that today, before the courts, she's expected, or the parties expected, to update the court on how far negotiations have gone. But I gave you a tip earlier. This case is before Justice Mary Mami Kweyenzu, who currently has been elevated to the Court of Appeal. So we'll get to know it was the same court that Mustapha Abdul-Hamid and co appeared yesterday and were giving dates. So it is more likely that once this case also come up today, more likely that a date would have to be taken. But we'll be there. You never know. Within 24 hours, a lot of things change. A lot of things can change within that certain period. So we'll be there, and we hope that Nana Agradaa or Patricia Isiama would be in court. But when she's coming to court, it's in relation to the sharing of nude pictures.
Not on the charges that she was
sentenced. And charlatanic advertisement, not on the respect of that. These
are the woes of Nana Agradaa. She needs to publish a book after her release from incarceration. Now,
can you suggest some title for that?
Woes of Nana Agradaa, rise from the pit. Anyway, this particular case, a lot of us might have forgotten about it, but I understand that it's coming up today with regards to the Canadian blogger who was murdered by Sabina Mohammed. Allegedly murdered.
Yes.
Yeah.
She has pleaded not guilty, and in fact, it's one of the cases that has been pending for a while. Every now and then the case come up, but it is one of the cases that the new jury initiative would deal with. So today, she's expected in court. Criminal Court 5, currently being presided over by Justice Kizita Nakwa-Kwashi. And what the expectation is for her to select her jurymen or her jury panel.
Okay.
Yes, so today the expectation is that there will be an empanelment of jury. And once people will be wondering how the jury selection is done, it is the accused person who will do her own selection. So there will be a pool of persons, potential jurors in the gallery. Their names will be put in the box, and they'll ask them when they are picked. They mention your name, you come forward. She looks at you, says, Lily, you are too beautiful. What's the bedding? I don't like you. Then you go and sit down. And then there's a process where you can only reject the first three. After rejecting the first three.
You have such an innocent face, so maybe I may be selected, but
that one. I remember when Sexy Dondon was selecting her jury panel, he looked at them. If you're a woman, she has issues with you.
Why?
And one of the reasons that he had to give before, when he didn't have 7, because after 3, you can reject 3 without assigning any reason. The fourth one, if you reject, you have to explain. And his point was that women are too emotional. And he thinks that the nature of the case before the court, if you put a woman on the panel.
Because the victim in that instance was a family man, remember?
So in his mind, if you're a woman, you will not have that. So, but that was a reason that was not accepted by the court. Because you are trying to say that women are emotional. No, they are women of substance. Yes. Except a reason like, okay, I know this person, he's my neighbor. I had a fight with him the last time. So when that person sits on this case, I don't think he'll be fair to me. That's a valid explanation. That could be accepted. But to say the person, look at the person and say, oh, he's too emotional, he's a quick-tempered person, he smiles too much, he frowns his face almost every time, this one will not work. So we'll be there, she'll select her own jurymen and women, and then we'll see who and who. Then officially, once the parties address the court, prosecution will address the court, her lawyers will address the court, then the court will also let the panel know what their works entail, what they are supposed to do, and all of that. Then the trial begins by way of prosecution calling their first witness. So these are the cases that we should look forward to by way of court today, Lily.
All right. Thank you very much, Captain, as always, for updating us. I'm sure that by 11:30, when I'm on air with the news, I'll come to you for more updates on these cases. So that's Murtala Inusah.